All right, so here is video I'm making for our little felt stuffed animal. So I'm gonna do this cute cactus in a pot here. First thing I'm gonna do is trace it, my little tracer on my green. I'm gonna need two of the green because I need a front and a back. And then I'm gonna use this kind of orangish color for my pot. So let me do this. I'm gonna use this charcoal pencil, or chalk would work too, just because I don't want it to be like Sharpie, like permanent. I want it to be able to kind of wipe away after I'm done cutting it out on my felt. So I'm gonna trace. So there's one, and I'm actually gonna flip it over. I see this side's a little bit bigger. Trace. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do, I'll cut those out in a minute, is I'm actually gonna trace, because I want my pot to be a different color. So I'm gonna be as close to the edge as I can so someone else can use this color if they want. So I can either decide, do I want my pot to be this color on both sides? Or does it only need to be this color on the front? All green on the back? I don't know, kind of up to you. I think I'm gonna have it, so I don't need the cactus part, that's gonna stay green, so then I can close this up. I think I'm gonna have it be the pot color on both sides, so I need two, I tilt it a little bit, pots. Okay, so tracing with my charcoal or chalk, just so it's not so permanent and dark. Close that up. All right, ready? I'm gonna speed it up here a little bit because you're gonna cut these out next. Okay, now I got my front and my back pieces cut out. I went through and made sure they fit pretty closely to my green underneath. So now before I put these two pieces together like this to make my little stuffed animal, I actually want to sew or stitch the terracotta color for my pot to my green of my stuffed animal here, because once I put these two together, I don't want to have to be going all the way through back and forth to be putting my top layer on. So we're going to put the top layer on first, and then we're going to, then we'll put it together and fill it with the stuffing. So what I need now is a needle and thread. So these are going to be kind of smaller needles. I think I'm gonna use gray thread. So I'm gonna cut a fairly long piece. I have to go all the way around this pot. I'll probably be ending up having to get more. That's okay though. Okay, then the trick is to getting it through the eye of the needle, which may take a minute to do. Let me get this open. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take one end and I'm going to thread it through, hopefully. Yes, good. Okay, and I can help you do that if you need to. Then I'm going to go all the way to the halfway point. And so what I mean by that is I'm going to line up my two ends, and I'm gonna pull my needle all the way down here to the halfway point, and I'm gonna tie a knot. So it's basically double the yarn, or I mean the thread, excuse me. And I'm gonna tie a knot. So to tie a knot, I'm gonna loop it around my finger, and then the little tail goes through the loop. And I'm actually gonna do it one more time because I want it to be nice and thick. Okay. I want my needle to be, or my knot to be nice and big. Okay, so you can see my knot there. Now, what I'm gonna do is, okay, once I have my needle threaded, I'm gonna start to stitch my background. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so I'm gonna actually, this will be the inside back here, inside my stuffed animal. I'm gonna come up, starting in one corner through both pieces of felt. I'm gonna pull it all the way through. So now there's a couple different ways to stitch it. One is a running stitch, where we're gonna just go down. So you can see the stitch there, and I'm gonna come back up. And I'm gonna come back down. And come up. So I would do this all the way around. And this is kind of cool, like a, almost like a dashed line. You can see the space in between, but now these two pieces are connected. Okay, so then another type of stitch, let's come up right here, would be to do it even closer together. So I'm gonna try really hard to come up as close as I can to where I dive down so that there's no gap in between. Sometimes I might have to readjust. Okay, pull it through, dive it down. Okay, come up as close as I can to where I just dive back down so that there's no gap in between. So it should look somewhat like a solid line. So poking around my needle just to make sure I find the right spot here. There it is. Oh, and I got a little crooked, that's okay. Okay, so that's two ways. Okay, so I'm gonna speed it up here to get all the way around both of my sides here. Okay, I've gotten to where I'm gonna need a new piece of string. So I'll leave a little extra for yourself. I'm gonna cut my needle and then I'm gonna tie a knot here with these two pieces of thread. Kind of like I'm tying my shoes. I'll tie it a couple times and then I'll rethread and just keep going. Okay, and I'm actually gonna trim these so they don't get in my way, and this one too. All right, we'll speed it back up to finish.